we're back with another exciting episode of Live with, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is one of the most genetically amazing athletes that I've witnessed over the last decade or so. He just won the IFBB Texas Pro in the Classic Physique division. We saw him, you know, when they launched the Classic Physique division, everyone was talking about this guy is going to be the next big thing, and it looks like he's finally filling those shoes. Robert TIMMS, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Good win. I mean, not only was it a good win, it was a big win because you beat a very good Logan Franklin. It was a very close battle. I know a lot of people were talking about it, going back and forth, which always makes for a good show. Because when you just win a show and you don't really beat anyone that good, then I don't think people care about it that much. But when you have a great battle on stage like that, it gets exciting, you know.
Yes, sir. It definitely does. It was Steve Loris was in that show as well.
Yeah, but Steve was off. So Steve was awful. It wasn't the Steve that, you know, we had seen win,
Right. But the thing is, like, for me, it's one of those things. You never know who's going to show up, how they're going to show up.
Right.
It's just you go in there and, you know, for me, I never really look at who's showing up. I just go there and do my best, you know, and
sure.
Now we let the chips fall.
You in 2018 when you competed, and you've always qualified for the Olympia, which is, you've always found a show to kind of win and get to that Olympia. And I think a lot of people always saw your physique and they said, man, this guy's got, what a tool set this guy's got. Small waist, big guy, big frame, great muscle insertions and muscle bellies. If you can only add a little bit more size, right? That was always your constructive criticism you received.
Yes, sir.
And man, did you gain some size. From 2018 to 2021, you put on 20 pounds of stage weight.
Yes, sir. So we took time off. The thing was, it was a lot of meticulous dieting. And I worked with AJ Sims at Cement Factory.
Okay.
And he definitely is a wizard with it, you know, making sure that my eating is proper. We took out all the crap and made sure we were eating foods that my body agreed with. And for me, I'm a creature of habit.
What didn't your body agree with? What foods were not good for you?
So anything like a lot of people eat cream of rice. Just an example. A lot of people eat cream of rice. Like, everybody eats cream of rice. I can't eat cream of rice. My body, it doesn't digest it well. It doesn't feel well on my stomach.
Right.
And it blows his mind too, because he's just like, everybody can eat cream of rice. I'm like, I know, but it doesn't sit well on my stomach.
Yeah.
By
the way, you're not the first person who's told me that. And I don't really I offer it as an option for people, but I give more people oatmeal. It seems to sit better with them. I don't know.
And oatmeal's fine as well, but again, it's one of those things that it just feels like, for me, if it sits on my stomach too long, I don't like it.
Okay.
So we keep it super simple, and I just keep white rice in my diet.
Gotcha.
And white rice is my go-to, period. Like with so that's my main carb source is white rice.
Gotcha.
And, you know, the way he does it is, we know that it digests well, so we stick to it. I don't do a lot of, you know, seasoning sauces, and we just keep it super, super simple.
Right.
And it works, you know, and we, like, high days, we just add more rice, or
Gotcha.
My low days, we just pull a little bit of rice, you know what I mean? Or, you know, and we keep the protein's the same, you know, and that's pretty much how we did it the whole time. And we made like actual weight and put on tissue.
Put on tissue, that's an understatement. You made a Ronnie Coleman jump in weight. I mean, when I look at your physique, I'm like, holy mackerel. I mean, what do you weigh?
But the thing was too, right? We didn't cut, right? So it was a continuous bulk.
Right.
So even during the summer and stuff like that, we didn't cut. So we weren't bulking and cutting. We were just continuously bulking.
Well, yeah, but you were almost 240 this time on stage. You were 219 the last time you competed in 18 after the Olympia. And, you know, how high did your weight go before you had to bring it down for getting in shape?
The highest I got was 267.
Okay, so that's a lot of weight. Probably some of it was water, I'm sure. But
absolutely.
That weight, do you feel comfortable? Because you are a big guy. You're over 6 feet, right?
Right. I'm 6'1".
Yeah.
So it was it wasn't unbearable. It was like the little things, right? Bending over to tie my shoe, or you know, the little things. That's what kind of was kind of uncomfortable. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad, you know, because like I said, it dispersed over my whole body, so it wasn't too bad at all.
At 6'1", what's the weight limit at Classic Physique for you?
240.
Okay, so you're right there essentially.
Yes, sir. I got 2 pounds from my stage weight.
When I look at your physique, I'm going to be honest with you. I see an open Mr. Olympia guy, like top 5 at the Olympia. I mean, if you added 10 pounds of weight, 10 pounds of stage weight, I mean, if you added 15 pounds, you'd be vying for the title, I think. I think if you added 10 pounds, you'd be a solid top 10 Olympian in the open. Is that something that you are thinking about, or do you like this Classic Physique division?
So I do like Classic. I feel like open, I think I would have to weigh too much, to be honest. I
don't think so.
It's different, I think. And
you gained 20 pounds since the last time you competed. If you could do 10 by the next year, you don't think you'd be a good open guy?
I don't. I think it looked different because the guys are shorter. I'm tall, and so me stretched out is different than a guy who's 250, 260, 5'9", 5'10". That's a lot. They look way bigger, and I would look really. I think I look thin.
Yeah, I don't think you'd look thin at 250 on stage or 255. That's for sure. Not with your structure, But you never know. So right now you're pretty much, you got your mind on Classic. That's what.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now going into the Olympia this year, obviously you got to feel a lot more confident. Number one, you just knocked off Logan Franklin, who's a definite top 6 guy, obviously. The class has lost a few people that moved on to 212 between Keon Pearson and George Peterson left there. There is a void. Obviously, Chris Bumstead at the top of the class is a guy, around your height, but with obviously a little bit more, I guess, muscle maturity maybe because he's been around a little longer. Is this a guy that you are excited to stand next to on stage so people can compare you?
I think when they see the comparison, I think it'll be a different look. I think for me and Chris, and this is how I expect it, and I think Chris has a phenomenal physique. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Chris's physique is harder than mine, like a harder physique. I think I have a more finesse-like physique. So I think it'll be it's kind of going down to preference. I don't think his physique is as pretty as mine, but it's so powerful that it looks different and it still looks good. So it's apples and oranges, I believe. Now, it's going to be exciting to stand next to him, obviously, because he's Chris Bumstead.
Right.
Like,
and you haven't done it since you've been with all this new weight. You only did it when you were, 20 pounds lighter.
Right, exactly. So it's going to be a different kind of look. And Chris, I think, like I said, I just think he's phenomenal. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Right. Now,
and that's God willing, I get to stand next to him. That's the thing, right? Because again, I got to realize too that we're at the Olympia, so everybody there deserves their spot there. And I can't leapfrog everybody and act like they're not there and they're not existent. It's definitely going to be a battle, and I know it's. I understand, but it's just going to be a battle with everybody that's there. I'm excited to stand next to everybody. Excited to see everybody and see how I stack up.
The thing that I notice when I watch Classic is the taller guys stick out more to me. Okay, so your eyes go to the tall guys first, then you start to evaluate everyone else because you take up a lot of space on stage.
Right, and I understand that too, but you still have a Terrence Ruffin who's not a taller guy and who knocked off Brian Jones.
Yeah.
Then you have a Breon Ansley who's not a taller guy who knocked off Brian.
I'm a huge Brian Jones fan, by the way. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a different kind of physique.
He's like you. He's a sleeper.
Taller guy. We're all there. But again, you can't. And then I look at too. I got Courage, who's going to be there, and Courage is another shorter guy who's, all these guys are beating me. So it's going to be a different look. It's just going to be different. And the thing I'm excited about is the fact that I've actually filled out my frame to my actual height and weight. That's what I'm excited for.
Were you frustrated with the fact that you took off the time because I know you like to compete. Obviously, you can tell you enjoy being up there.
My thing is, it's fun, but it's not like a thing of I was in a rush to get back on stage.
Right.
No, I wanted to make sure I was right. It's one of those things you worry so much about getting on stage that you don't even take the time to make the improvements that you need to make.
Sure.
So I just was better. I feel better now taking time off. And actually now I feel like a competitor instead of just being on the stage.
Yeah. Now you started a little late with bodybuilding. You started working out at 24, which sometimes I think is a good thing. Sometimes I know a lot of people think it's not a good thing, but sometimes it's better because your body, you're more mature emotionally and you can handle a little better. Sometimes when the young guys, they lose their mind. It's been 10 years though now. You're 34 years old. I always say in 10 years you become a master at your trade if you do it religiously and conscientiously, which you have obviously. Do you feel that you've arrived in a sense with a physique that now has got a level of muscle maturity and finesse, like you said, where you go on stage and you say, you know what, I'm not like the guy who's scared anymore. I'm kind of like a guy that people better be scared of.
I feel like, it's funny. I go there now and it's one of those things like you're backstage and when you're backstage with all the guys, all the other competitors, right? And they look at you and they're, like when I'm fully clothed, I look like nothing when I'm fully clothed. Yeah. Like when I have my sweatsuit on, my tracksuit on, it looks like nothing. And so, it's funny, they walk up to you and they'll, oh man, good luck. When they're really in their head, they're not really saying good luck. They're saying, I know I got him.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things, right? So it's funny, we were backstage at the Texas and they were doing that, right? Yeah. They were like, oh man, good luck, welcome back, good luck, And it was funny because everybody was like, oh, he's not gonna be able to shake up with the guys, the newer guys, evolved and all stuff. But when everybody stripped down and everybody started, getting oiled up and whatnot, I left my clothes on. I wait till the last minute. Yeah. That's just what I do. And everybody, they flex, and then I stripped down and everybody looked at me like, what in the world? And I was like, oh yeah, we worked, I put some work in. And they're like, bro, you look amazing. And it was funny because it was just like, now I feel like, ready. And when I stepped on stage at the Olympia the last time in 2018, I remember seeing Chris and Breon and, and I'm looking at these guys and Terrence, and I'm just looking at them like, why am I even here?
It's a terrible,
it's
really a terrible feeling too. I know you're at the Olympia and you're feeling like
that. And I'm just like, man, these guys. And I remember looking at their, their body, and I'm just like, man, like they're walking and their quads are shaking, and I'm just like, then I look at the mirror and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you, know? And so now I feel better. I feel a lot better. It shows in my performance at the show, and that's a part of the game. That's a part of the battle. You go there. If you're not confident, it's going to show on stage.
Yeah.
And, it definitely portrays through. So, I'm excited.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck. You're not doing the Arnold, but we will see you at the Olympia. And
yes, sir.
So you got, what is it, 5 weeks now?
Yes, sir. We're about 4.5 weeks out.
Yeah. Good luck on the rest of the prep, and
thank you.
I hope you come home with a big top placing. I know you work real hard over the last couple of years, and yes, congratulations sir. Also on that big Texas win, because that was a big one. I know.
Thank you.
I'm sure Logan is still hurting from that one, but he'll be back too. He's got a tremendous physique.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Steve Lorius also has a tremendous physique. So all three of you guys will be battling it out again, for sure, for years to come too.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it at all.
All right. If people want to get in touch with you, best way?
Mr. Classic Physique on Instagram.
Okay. Check him out. Look, Robert's looking for a sponsor. If anyone out there wants to grab him before he's ready to win the Open Olympia, now you can get a much better price than you will once he's once he's got that Olympia crown on his head.
Absolutely.
Robert, thank you for taking time to talk to me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.